Hello, welcome to my channel. We're going to talk about the Page of Pentacles today and my Kate Bush song choice. I think whenever I'm talking about court cards, I realise it is very much a personal choice. I almost choose them by instinct or a hunch, if you like. And then in retrospect, I'm thinking, well, how am I going to do this video and justify why I've made those choices? So it is very personal choice, but I think that this song choice does add another layer to this card, which is the main reason why I'm creating this deck, isn't it? If everything was obvious, it wouldn't be as interesting exercise for me to do. So I feel like I'm getting deeper into the tarot through this process. Right, so let's just talk about Page of Pentacles or Princess of Discs as the Thoth card, the Thoth deck calls this card. Right, so with all the pages, we tend to talk about like a youthful energy, if you like. So there is an element of curiosity, inexperience, maybe, certainly lacking the status of the kings or queens, a gentler, less proactive energy than the knights. There's still a sense maybe of watching, sitting back a little bit, reflection, rather than the action of the knights and rushing in. The Page of Pentacles is very much a sensual card. It's connected to earth and nature and the body. There is that sexual element, but I would say that unlike the Page of Wands, this isn't a fiery energy. It's not a passionate, kind of quick, lustful energy. This is more introverted. Something shyer, more gentle and nurturing about it. Compared to the Page of Cups, I would say this is, the Page of Cups is a very imaginative card, very intuitive, and Princess of Discs has that energy too. But the Page of Cups is more gullible, more easily led astray, more less reliable, if you like. I would think of this card as more loyal, more dependable. They're more grounded. When we compare them to the Page of Swords, which is very much associated with the student, I would say again, this is more practical, more the craftsman than someone who's at their desk writing, say. Now, when I got the Thoth deck and started to read about the Thoth tarot and about the Kabbalah, I really changed my view of this card, and it started to take on a new power, and it became a very special one in the deck, which is why I think in Lon Milo DeQuette's book, he talks about being a little bit in love with this Princess of Discs. And I think that's why he chose her for the front cover. I was just going to quickly show you the Tree of Life, in case you are not familiar with it. But we are dealing with, and this is going to be a very, very rough summary. It's very complicated, but very, basic summary. This is the tens. So this is where the pages are. And this is the heaviest point of the Tree of Life. If you like, this is the journey of spirit down to earth or matter. Okay? So it kind of goes like that in this zigzag sense. This is how it's represented. So we have spirit and the aces and up here. And then we go down, and I see the knights as here actually. And then we go down to the pages, and the pages are here. They're almost actually outside this 10 here. And if you think also, which I was trying to communicate when we were talking about the Wheel of Fortune, is that tarot is really about cycles. It's about circles. It isn't really about a linear progression of time, or how we tend to see time, I think, wrongly in the Western world, or how we've been, taught to think of calendar time, etc. It is about circles, and as soon as we get to the end, as soon as we get to the furthest down we can in this matter, we are then going back. This is the start of the circle again, and then we're going back to the aces, and we're going back to spirit. So arguably, although Princess of Discs is in that earthy realm, she's also the most linked to spirit, because she's also about new beginnings, about starting again. And I was just going to quickly read what Crowley said about her. He of course uses gendered language, but you know, as I keep saying with these court cards, it's not gendered. Okay, so it can be anyone, can be the Princess of Discs, any age, any gender. But what he says is, the Princess of Discs, the last of the court cards, represents the earthy part of earth. She is consequently on the brink of transfiguration. She is strong and beautiful, with an expression of intense brooding, as if about to become aware of secret wonder. And I think that is what Lady Frida Harris has represented in her face. She is powerful. She is armed. She has got this shield. She's a warrior as well. So it isn't, you know, we think of Paige and we think of that sense of youth and vulnerability, but also there's that real power there. So there's this kind of experience, inexperience, power, vulnerability. These energies are kind of existing or coexisting in this card. And so this influenced my choice of the Kate Bush song, which I wanted it to be a song I really loved. And I wanted it to have that kind of duality of energy. Now, the song I've chosen is the B-side, or was the B-side from Running Up That Hill. And it is Under the Ivy. It was a song that Kate Bush wrote especially for Running Up That Hill. She seems to, unusually for her, have written it very quickly. This photo, I originally went or tried to find in one of my books the photo of her, which is the studio photo, and it's Kate Bush's face, and she's surrounded by ivy, and it's very, very 80s makeup. It's very studio and kind of, it's not as natural as this. This is from the John Carter Bush book, and I assume this is the garden near where her studio was as a child. I assume this is the actual ivy from her garden. And then it takes on this whole emotional resonance when you realise that she's also, maybe when she's singing the song, she's actually picturing a place. She's going back to the childhood. This rose to me represents something innocent about childhood. There is then that innocence which is then protected and contained within as you grow older. So it's like the more experienced older woman protects and nurtures that inner younger woman, if you like. And I was thinking about how in a relationship, in a serious relationship, that is like one stage of the relationships, isn't it? Is showing that other person, that inner, more vulnerable, younger self, that somehow that person, we're like Matryoshka dolls, aren't we? We carry that younger person within ourselves. Let me just quickly read out what Kate Bush herself says about this song. And then I will just quickly talk about the recording. Okay, so let me just read it. I needed a track to put on the B-side of the single Running Up That Hill, so I wrote this song really quickly. As it was just a simple piano vocal, it was easy to record. I performed a version of the song that was filmed at Abbey Road Studios for a TV show which was popular at the time called The Tube. Right, and that is what I will link to. And what I wanted to read actually was what she says about it. So it's very much a song about someone who is sneaking away from a party to meet someone elusively, secretly, and to possibly make love with them or just to communicate. But it's a secret, and it's something they used to do and that they won't be able to do again. It's about a nostalgic revisited moment. I think it's sad because it's about someone who's recalling a moment when perhaps they used to do it when they were innocent and when they were children, and it's something that they're having to sneak away to do privately now as adults. So I think it's returning to that sense of seclusion, isn't it? That younger self. Maybe also in that perspective about Kate Bush now singing this as someone who is like a famous pop star and going back to that time when, you know, she wasn't known, when she was an unknown, when she was alone in her studio writing songs for herself. There is that emotional connection with the Abbey Road studios for her as well, having recorded Never Forever and Dreaming and Hounds of Love there. And I think you kind of get a sense of that in the video that I will link of her live performance, that she is also retreating to somewhere that is special to her. That's where she's recording it. I think it was also the 100th show of the Tube or something. So there's an aura about this recording. So do watch it. It is a special moment. But I like the idea of we've got the older woman, we've got the younger woman somehow coexisting in this song. And that seemed to me to link back to this special position that the Princess of Discs seems to have in the tarot pack as the very last card of the tarot. So that's my take on the Princess of Discs. If you, as always, you know, let me know what you think. And thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.